everyone, my name is Kemi and welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you're joining me for the first time, we are discussing a book titled Oil, Politics and Violence by Maxillian, where he went into the culture of the military coup. Today, we'll be talking about one of the parties during that era, Action Group, which was led by the Yorubas. And we'll be talking about what led to the disunity within AG that then led to the imprisonment of Obafemi Awolowo. First, let's talk about census that happened in 1963 before we go into the disunity that happened in within the AG. Now, the census in 1960, census, one thing we should understand about the census is the fact that the census determines the number of seats that you would have in the parliament. Now, the 1963 census revealed that the South had more people than the North. Now, understand that the number of people in your region determines the number of seats you have in parliament. Now, imagine the world where currently the North has more seats in parliament than the South. Now, imagine a world where the numbers after census revealed that the South had so much people. In short, the numbers they announced were unprecedented to the point where the Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa, said they should do a verification of the numbers. When they did the verification of the numbers, they found out that there were 8 million more people. 8 million, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million more people in the North. How? Where were those 8 million people? Where were they hiding? Going into the disunity in AG, this was between 1959 and 1962. At the point, Awolowo was the leader of the party and Chief Samuel Akintola was the deputy. And they were at odds. Now, the reason is because Awolowo wanted to remain an effective opposition party to the federal government, to MPC, whereas Akintola felt like there was more to be benefited from being in alliance with the federal government. I could see both parties. Awolowo is, fighting the good fight and wanting to be, call out the mistakes or problems of the federal government. Whereas someone like the other deputies like, we'll get more from, uniting with these people. Now, on one beautiful day, Awolowo went to Onitsha to visit Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Now, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Awolowo were discussing, coalition plans. Remember that now there was a rift between MPC and NCC because of the census. The fact that the South, they did not take the numbers of the South and they found 8 million people was already causing a problem. Now, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Awolowo were discussing, coalition plans. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe gets a call from Ahmadu Bello. This should be expected because at the time, NCNC and MPC still had some sort of alliance, even though there was a rift. Ahmadu Bello then calls Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Now, Awolowo is in the room. I imagine Ahmadu Bello did not know that. Then he calls him and then says that, oh, deputy leader of AG is here, Samuel Akintola, and the general secretary, chief, his name is Ayo Rosuji. They are here to discuss a broad-based coalition. Now, if you think about it, that means that Samuel Akintola and the general secretary have gone to meet Ahmadu Bello to discuss a coalition between AG and MPC. Now, the MPC leader is then calling Nnamdi Azikiwe to say, how can the three of us come together and become one? Which means they were going to exclude Obafemi Awolowo from all of this. Now, while this conversation was going on, they did not realize that Obafemi Awolowo was in the room. So I'm assuming, Obafemi Awolowo takes the phone from Nnamdi Azikiwe and speaks and tells him that, put that small boy, put that my deputy on the phone for me. I want to speak to him. And then he's like, hello, like Samuel. This is how I imagine that you go. Hello, Samuel, what are you doing? From what I know, he speaks good English. What are you doing there? What is your mission in Kaduna? Why are you in Kaduna? And he's like, like, what's your mission in Kaduna? I imagine Samuel Akintola will be like, àwọn bàbá ló rán mi. Say, his response, actually, according to the book, was, "The fathers of the party sent me." I want to believe that Awolowo will have inserted some Yoruba that who Baba will send the Losi Cardinal or something like that. And then somebody was like, he had the effrontery to say, "The fathers of the party sent me." This caused a huge ruckus between all of them. And then, there was problem with, the Western region, AG party. This led to a bigger issue within the party. And, as a result, the general secretary had to resign and he was replaced. And then majority of the legislators of, the Action Party voted for Akitola's dismissal from the office on grounds of anti-society party and indiscipline. If you think about it, if most of the party did not want coalition, if most of the party were in support of, Obafemi Awolowo remaining an opposition leader, then you are going against what the party wants by going behind them to go and have a meeting. So they were calling for his dismissal. So now they wanted to have a meeting. They wanted to at the Western House in Lagos. They then wanted to have like a debate on a motion of no confidence in Akitola. This is where the drama started. Now, they wanted to have a debate to discuss the motion of no confidence in the deputy leader, which is Samuel Akitola. Now, Akitola's supporters, they came ready. They like, we're going to cause disruption. We're going to all shaking me. Sorry, as a Yoruba girl, I have to put in some, Yoruba effects because it can only be. I can imagine how they'll be saying some things in Yoruba like this thing. I'm a scatter everything. Like basically, we're going to scatter everything. It's not going to happen here. Now, once the motion started, somebody's great grandfather from Ogomosho Southwest, I imagine he was probably sitting at the back in the chamber, in the Western chamber. He was sitting at the back and was like, what can I do to scatter this? And I was like, I'm going to throw this chair. And then somebody's great grandfather carried the chair and flung it across the chamber. Like anybody that it meets you in the end. Once that happened, the next thing, another ancestor. I believe these people are our ancestors because some of them are already dead. Well, if some of them are living, they are living ancestors. From this particular ancestor is from Badagry East. I'm calling out these people so that maybe they can go and check their history to see what their forefathers were doing because they used to say that they were, civil people, but maybe they weren't. So this ancestor is from Badagry East. He carried the speaker's mace, the one that they used to put on the podium in front of the speaker. He carried it and wanted to eat it on the speaker's head. Like, Daddy, why? Is it that serious? Anyways, as a result, free-for-all fight started. Now, while I'm saying that they are not civil, currently in the house, they don't really fight like that as much as, because I remember back then as a child watching the news, you just see them fighting, throwing chairs and doing all sorts in the chamber. They used to really fight back then. But currently, they don't really fight like that. If you think about it, these people don't fight like that. It means that we are the ones that they are cooking. These people are in the same meeting, whether they are PDP, APC, whatever party that they belong to, they are all one and the same. Because ideally, if they were against, if they were calling each other out, yes, that's right. If they were calling each other out, there will be fights. But there is no fight. There is unity. How is there unity between PDP and APC? They just to come on the TV and be pretending for us that they are fighting, but it's a lie. They are not really fighting because if they are fighting, somebody will carry the mace and eat the person on the head. Like these are our forefathers were doing. Anyways, the free for all fight started, and then police had to come in to stop it, and then the meeting reassembled. But these Aketola's people, they are the angel of darkness. They say, lie, this meeting is not gonna hold. And yes, true to them, the meeting did not hold. Yeah, it did not hold. Anyways, so the people that scattered the meeting the second time, their name is J.O. Adigun and Chief S.A. Tinubu, not to be confused with the president of Nigeria. They are just namesake. Anyways, they disrupted the meeting by throwing chairs again, and then finally the meeting was adjourned. Now, as a result, federal government decided to declare a state of emergency in the Western region. He then assigned somebody called Moses Majekodunmi to be the administrator of the Western region. Technically, he removed Obafemi Awolowo. Now, Moses Majekodunmi is the physician, personal physician Tafawa Balewa. Like, make it make sense. How are you appointing someone that is your personal physician, even though his name is still a Yoruba person? So now, the FG now claimed that the Southerners were trying to, take control of the country via constitutional amendments. I want to know, would that be wrong if they are trying to amend the constitution? Is that a wrong thing? Is that a crime? If you know, please drop it in the comment section. I would like to know. But then if you think about it, it's impossible because the North is in control. And they couldn't do it through violence because the North had more power. Now, as a result, Obafemi Awolowo and his supporters, Lateef Jakonde, and then Anthony Enahoro, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, were convicted of plotting to overthrow the federal government by force of arms. They claimed that they trained fighters in Ghana, bribed army officers to rebel against the government. Now, on Awolowo's side, they claimed it was a setup and that this setup was a plot to just remove him from the opposition party. Now, but the real truth is that there was truly a plot to overthrow the government. It was a snitch. There was a certain snitch called Samuel Ikoko. Maybe he's not a snitch because of him now we know history, we can study history. But at the time, he was a snitch. He publicly confessed that the plot was real, and they wanted to overthrow the federal government by extra constitutional means. Anyways, at the end of the day, it was unsuccessful. Obafemi Awolowo was in prison, and NNDP was born, and it was led by a very unpopular Samuel Akitola. Quite a sad ending. Thank you so much for coming to this episode. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.